Hi guys, thanks so much for watching. Today we are doing something a little bit different and I'm going to share the kitchen renovation process with you. This is something, at least the kitchen, is something I get way more questions on than anything else I've ever posted. And I thought it'd be really fun to share like the whole process, a bunch of pictures, and just tips and ideas because we have saved a ton of money on this process. And I think you guys would be really surprised to hear like a bunch of things that I'm going to share with you. I think they'd really help you out. I know so many of you guys are in a similar phase of life and you are remodeling your first home and all of that stuff. So I hope that you do find this helpful. And if you do, give it a like. If you are new, subscribe to join the family. I would love to have you. There are 3 videos a week, always something fun to watch. I will link as much stuff as I can. And if you guys have any questions, definitely write a comment. I respond to all my comments, so I will get back to you, and let's get started. Here is an overview of pretty much the whole kitchen. The only thing I'm not showing is that wall because we need to finish it, and I'll show it to you guys when it's done, but basically everything is done for the most part. And I'm sorry if the lighting is all over the place, guys, but I'd rather hold my camera. I feel like it's way more fun for you guys than if I just had one sitting there, even though the lighting would be better and more consistent. The first thing I get questions about are the cabinet color. So it's called North Beach. It's from Home Depot. It's like a bluish gray color with a little bit of white to it. So it's not as white as the backsplash or as the countertops, but it isn't far off, and I love that color so much. And then for the hardware, we purchased these guys from Amazon. They come in so many sizes, so many colors too, like there's silver and black. And I believe these are the smallest ones, but of course I will link the exact size for sure. And then the knobs down here, we purchased these from Target and they actually match perfectly. I was really happy about that. And then the backsplash is from Home Depot as well, and they have similar, I think there's 3 or 4 styles that look almost exactly like this. The ones that we have are the least expensive ones, and those were actually my favorite too. It's almost like 3-dimensional. I don't know if you can see that, but it comes out forward right here. And then I get a lot of questions too about the lighting that's underneath the cabinets. So this is just from IKEA. They have a few different styles of this. Here's the remote for it. And you just go like this, and that's how you switch up the lighting. And so I think they have like 3 or 4 different kinds, but that's the ones that we have. It's just like one strip. I've seen a lot of people with the circular one, so it's like a circle, a circle, a circle, a circle. And I don't like those as much because the lighting is just like a spotlight, 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 spotlight thing. I like how this one is really consistent and smooth for all of the lighting. For these shelves in the corner here, we actually found this idea on Pinterest. We're going to put a few more of them in that far corner over there. So that's not done yet either, but I'm sure you get the idea. That's just what they look like. We went to a local store for lumber and they have like a bunch of different options, and we wanted a live edge option. As you can see, that's what's on the base there of both of them. We just installed these with a kit from Amazon. I will link it for you too, and my husband did it. But basically at the lumber store, we just told them the size that we needed and they cut it. And then my husband finished it up a little bit and put it up. He's not like a very experienced woodworker by any means. I mean, he did the island. I'm going to talk about that soon, but it's not like he's been doing this for several years. So if you guys have a little bit of experience, or your dad or your boyfriend, husband, whoever has a little bit of experience, I'm sure you can figure it out because we certainly did. Now for the countertops, I get a ton of questions on this too, and I want you guys to write down below what you think they are before I say it because I'm very interested. But sometimes you guys think it's a quartz, sometimes you think it's a marble. So I'm just going to walk around, and I know the sun is coming in, so I'm sorry if the lighting isn't that great, but throughout this video I'm going to put in tons of photos of before and after so you guys can kind of see the process. The sun is really not helping us out right now, but I'm just doing one more run through and then I'm going to stand back here to give you a better view. But you guys, the countertop is an epoxy. It is not a stone, and it is the coolest thing. It's from Coat Countertops, and they have a channel where they show exactly how to do this yourself. We did this ourselves, And I'm going to say prices in this video, guys, but please know I'm not saying prices for any reason except for if I was watching this video, I would want to know how much things cost, because if I'm doing it, I want to like have an idea. I'm sure you guys understand what I mean when I say that, so that's why I'm going to say prices. But we paid, I think, a little less than $300 for the epoxy, and we have a lot of countertops. And then we actually paid someone to make a template for us. So this epoxy, it can go on pretty much anything. You don't have to get like a new, like an installation of like a new thing like we did. But we had a countertop that had it had like a lip on the back of it, and it just looked very outdated. So that's why we got rid of that. And it is an MDF board underneath the epoxy, which is not a countertop at all. It's like really, really inexpensive, just like a sheet of wood that this guy put down, and he basically did it around the sink so we have like the proper shape around the sink, because we had a double sink before. And so he did that, and then we poured the epoxy, and him to make the countertop for us was $500. I don't think I said that, which I don't know if that's a very fair price at all, but apparently I asked around and people said it was a good price for that. So that's what we did there, and you guys will see a bunch of pictures of the process. But Stone Coat has so many videos on how to do this if you guys want to do it, so definitely watch their videos.
Amazing.
This looks kind of weird. If you stipple it, it'll dry.
Stipple it?
Yeah. And now for the island, sorry if you are not a new person and you've heard me say this a million times, but I've been looking for tall baskets to go down here. That's why it looks really awkward with just like random things. I have not found them yet. I still have my hopes up, but we basically saw this on Pinterest and someone had plans for it, and I just was obsessed with it. I think it is so cool looking, and so I'm going to link the plans down below, and I will link these legs too. The only thing with these legs, guys, is that the seller, they switch up the size. They basically just get whatever they can, so the sizes are not always consistent. If you guys purchase them and you make this, I definitely encourage you to really look at the dimensions, because they are probably not exactly what I have. So everything that you see here we put together. We bought this from Home Depot, and a lot of you guys asked me if like we did something special to it because it looks completely different, but we bought it as an unfinished top because it was way less money. And then all we did was just put a bunch of, I believe it's like a mineral product that goes on top of it. It's just for like pretty much any butcher block. So we put a whole bottle on that, and it completely sucked up the whole bottle within like a week and a half. And we just did that until it stopped sucking all of it up. And then if we spill something on it now, instead of just going straight into it, it just sits on top. So that's how you know it's done with all of that product. I'm sure I'm not explaining that like a professional would. So definitely put in some research if you guys are going to do this, because I'm obviously not an expert. And so we bought the legs and we followed the plans to buy the wood that goes underneath, and everything was unfinished, and then we painted it the same shade as the cabinets. I could not be any more obsessed with this for the price. It's just such a great option if you guys want an island but you don't want to spend like thousands of dollars. So I know the top from Home Depot, it was a special order product on their website and they shipped it to the store. I believe this was around $200. And then for all of the products, I think the legs, all four of them, was around $150, and probably like another $150 in supplies. So let's just say roughly $500 to $600 to make this, instead of spending thousands of dollars. I'm sure if we had an island built, it would be thousands of dollars. So $500 to $600 versus that is obviously a way better option. And painting the legs the same color as the cabinets really just pulls it all together. Now for this area, so I get a lot of questions about what this guy is. This is a pot filler, so basically it's just running water. And let me show you. So you just spin this and spin that. That's what it looks like, or that's how it works. And my husband's daddy basically knows like everything about houses. We got really lucky, so he installed that for us. Before we put up the subway tile, he asked me if we wanted one, and obviously I said yes. So that's how we had that put in, and he basically just like ran a pipe down into the basement, and so now we have that. I paid about $100 for this pot filler, which is way cheaper than pretty much any pot filler I've ever seen. They typically are like $300, $400, $500. I was not going to pay that So I will link that one too. It does come in a few finishes. I know it definitely has a silver, like stainless steel color too. I should have mentioned this before, but these cabinets, they are the original cabinets. They look probably nothing like them because we also replaced the hardware, or the hinges, I guess I should say. So they had those really old ones that are like skinny and tall, and we spent forever replacing them. We bought a special tool because they didn't even have a hole right here for hardware on the inside. So if you buy a house right now, the hardware obviously, like, you can't see it. It's called invisible, I believe. That's like the style of it. So we had to take off all the hardware and replace all of that, or the hinges. I think we spent about $250 to replace all of the hinges, and the only thing we've paid for to have done by someone else is the first part of the countertop before we laid the epoxy. Everything else we've done ourselves, or we've had family help us with. We are super lucky, obviously, that we have family that can do things like that. I should also talk about our sink. So if you guys are redoing things on a budget, keep an eye on the Craigslist in your area. My husband, he actually was keeping an eye on it for a sink and found one. This is the only thing we bought on Craigslist, I believe. Or no, there's one more thing I'm going to show you guys. So we only have bought 2 things on there, but it is worth a look if you guys are redoing things on a budget and you want a good deal. So this is called, I believe it's pronounced Frank. It's Frank with an E on the end of it, I believe. That is the name, if you can see it there, of the brand. And so brand new, I'm pretty sure this sink is like $1,300 or so, and we paid $350 for it from a contractor. It's still a brand new sink, but he had a lot of them to put in houses he was building, and so he just wanted to get rid of the extra stuff. So, I mean, that's not a cheap price by any means, but $1,000 off is obviously a great deal. And it is so big, you guys. I just love this sink so much. I could say so a zillion times. I always wanted a sink like that, so that is how we did that. I'm going to touch on this so fast because I still get a lot of questions on it, but for a drying rack, instead of having a standard one, I just bought a marble tray from HomeGoods, and then I put a rubber mat inside for dishes, and it has worked out amazingly well for us. It looks so much nicer than a standard one. And I still get probably like at least 5 questions every single day on this, so that is how I did that. Hopefully the HomeGoods or a TJ Maxx or Marshalls, wherever you live, they should probably have something similar to this. So that's just what it looks like underneath. Just works out really well, and it looks so much nicer than a standard one. And all the rose gold stuff in this sink I bought on Amazon for really good prices. It's linked below. The faucet and this thing and the sink grid, that's not rose gold obviously, but I don't think they make those in rose gold because I looked. The sponge holder and this guy and the paper towel holder, that all is linked below. I wasn't going to talk about this because honestly I think we got super lucky. I'm not saying I recommend this by any means, but this is a KitchenAid stove. That's the brand that we're switching over to for the appliances. We bought this from Craigslist, you guys, for $30. I know that sounds insane, it totally is, but just wait for the rest of the story. So we had to pay to have this part fixed, and they weren't even sure if that was what was wrong with it. There was not a guarantee by any means, but we spent $500. I know that's a ton of money to have this fixed. They weren't even certain if that was the problem. That was the problem. So we've had it for at least a year, probably a little longer, probably almost 2 years. And we've never had a problem with it since, but that was like such a risk, and it still is worth it because if we bought this brand new, it still is available for sale brand new. It's like a few $1,000s, so obviously like $550 is worth it, but that was a major risk. I don't recommend that you do that. Obviously it worked out for us. It was totally worth it, but we got really lucky. And now just to run through some things on the counter that I get questions about. This bowl I bought at Target. I don't believe it's available anymore. I'm sorry guys, but so many of you ask me about that all the time. This was a Gordman's find. I believe it's similar to like a HomeGoods or a Marshalls. This is from HomeGoods. These are from HomeGoods. Sorry about the sunlight on this one. The lighting is very off, but this is a Nespresso machine from Amazon that I will link to. I made this in a fall home decor video. And then the vase is from HomeGoods, and I talked about this. The tray here I get questions about, that is from a Meijer store. If you live in the Midwest, you have a Meijer. If you don't, then I would check like HomeGoods or Marshalls or something. This is a soda stream for sparkling water. We're obsessed with it. I will link to that too. It's a great product. We use it every single day. That's Amazon Alexa. This is from HomeGoods, and so is this. So one more time, just a run through for you guys. And again, we're doing those shelves right there that you guys see over here. That will be there hopefully this week. We have so many projects going on, a lot of really big things I'm sharing with you guys soon, and really just switching out the hardware and doing the hinges on the inside and painting them. It looks like a completely different space. Those hinges are such a pain, but I mean, so worth it in the end. That insane stove story, the pot filler that I totally recommend doing. And I showed you guys the backsplash, I believe, up close, but in case I didn't or it wasn't a very good shot before, that's what it looks like. Again, this is the least expensive one at Home Depot, and honestly, it's my favorite one. So I really, really recommend that one. And just everything, you guys. It has come such a long way in here. We did replace all of the windows in our house as well, so that definitely helped a lot and just made things look a lot better. It really needed some new windows, and yeah, that is pretty much everything. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please subscribe and like if you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, anything you want me to elaborate on, just write a comment down below. I will get back to you, and I'll see you right here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye!